Welcome to our presentation on effects of globalization, a comparative study of Japan and the Philippines. Today we will be analyzing the economy, governance, cultural, and peace impact of this powerful global force. Let's begin. Global connections shape our modern world, and this presentation will explore how they manifest through the lens of globalization.
We will start by defining globalization not just as economic integration, but also as a powerful force driving social and cultural exchange worldwide. The rapid pace of this integration is driven by key 21st century factors like technological innovation, trade liberalization, and etc. To truly understand this complex process, we will conduct a comparative study of Japan and the Philippines. Our analysis will begin with Japan, tracing its unique journey from historical isolation to becoming a global economic powerhouse driven by post-World War II growth. Then, we will contrast this with the Philippines, which has navigated globalization through the lens of its colonial legacy and subsequent economic liberalization. Ultimately, by examining these two distinct national experiences, we will analyze the multifaceted effects of globalization on their economies, governance, cultures, and efforts toward peace.
This comparative approach will reveal how different historical contexts can lead to varied outcomes, providing a richer understanding of this defining global phenomena. So now, let's start.
Let us first discuss Japan's economy. Japan's economy is characterized by its significant strength, particularly in technology and global engagement. Yet, it faces substantial demographic and market-related headwinds. Navigating this complex landscape requires strategic balancings to ensure future prosperity.
Let us discuss first the technological prowess of Japan. We all know that Japan stands out as a global leader in innovation and technology, which forms a cornerstone of its economic strength. Japan is a global innovation hub because Japan is recognized worldwide as a center for technological advancement and research. It also has high-value exports because its advanced industries drive the exports of high-value goods and services, contributing significantly to its trade balance. And it is also the R&D fueled expansion. Continuous investment in research and development, or R&D, is a key driver for economic growth and expansion, pushing the boundaries of various industries. Next, let's talk about the strategic foreign direct investment, or FDI role. Japan actively engages with the global economy through strategic foreign direct investment, or FDI, leveraging it for mutual growth and development. It strengthens global economic ties because FDI fosters deeper connections with international markets and partners, enhancing Japan's influence and collaboration. And capital inflow for development. It attracts crucial capital which is vital for domestic development projects and industrial growth. And it is technology transfer and job creations. FDI facilitates the transfer of advanced technologies and expertise, while also leading to the creation of new employment opportunities within Japan and in host countries. Now let's move on to the emerging headwinds. Despite its strengths, Japan focuses critical challenges that pose risk to its long-term economic stability and growth. The first headwinds is the aging population pressures. We all know that a rapid aging and declining populations leads to labor shortages, increased social security costs, and reduced domestic demand. Next is economic stagnation risk. Persistent deflationary pressures and slow growth rates contributes to concerns about economic stagnation. And intense global market rivalry. Japan faces fierce competition from other economies, particularly in technology and exports. Now, let's move to the navigating a complex landscape. To secure its future prosperity, Japan must adopt a strategic approach that addresses its strengths and weaknesses holistically. First is strategic balance. The nation needs to strategically balance its deep-rooted strengths in technology and exports with the realities of critical demographic shifts and an evolving global competitive environment. Next is the key pillars for future prosperity. Innovation drive, continual commitment to R&D and fostering a culture of innovation. Next is demographic reality. Implementing policies to mitigate the effects of an aging population, such as labor market reforms and support support for families, and global dynamics, adapting to changes in international trade, geopolitics, and technological trends.
On the other hand, Philippine economy, first, OFW are very important. They send money to our country which help families and supports our economy.
Second, we have the business process outsourcing or BPO industry. This is a fast-growing service industry. It gives job to millions of Filipinos and attracts foreign investors. Because of this, it provides job creation and a diversified economy. However, the Philippines also faces some challenges. One problem is income inequality. The wealth of the country is not shared equally, and this creates a big gap between the rich and the poor. Next is the dependency on external markets. Since we rely a lot on the global economy, we are vulnerable when global markets have problems. Lastly, we have agricultural vulnerabilities. Our farmers face risks from climate change and price change in the market. This leads to rural poverty and unstable income.
In short, the Philippines has big strength but also challenges. We must use our opportunities wisely and find solutions to our problems.
Today, we're going to delve into governance and political implications for Japan, especially how Japan is navigating global dynamics and implementing strategic responses to maintain its sovereignty and foster growth.
Let's start with sovereignty and engagement. This pillar highlights Japan's commitment to strategic autonomy, protecting its core national interests in an increasingly interconnected world. We see this in their active participation in multilateral platforms, where Japan plays a significant role in global forums, shaping international discourse and norms, and critically, through alliance strengthening, fostering robust bilateral and regional partnerships that are vital for security and stability in the Indo-Pacific. Moving on to trade and investment frameworks. Japan understands that a predictable and robust economic environment is crucial for prosperity. They establish robust legal structure to ensure market predictability for both domestic and international investors. We also observe a strong push for free trade promotion, actively working to reduce economic barriers and foster open markets. And, perhaps most importantly in today's digital age, innovation safeguard, adapting to a new digital economies and ensuring their competitive edge is maintained. However, it's not without its challenges. The landscape is complex. We've identified two key governance challenges. Firstly, global economic crisis. Japan is currently navigating significant supply chain vulnerabilities, managing inflationary pressures that are impacting consumers and business alike, and actively addressing resource independency, a critical issue for a nation with limited natural resources. Secondly, and equally important, regional geopolitics. This involves addressing territorial security disputes, which are constant presence in the region. Japan is adept at balancing complex regional alliances, playing a crucial diplomatic role. And finally, adapting to power balance shifts, an ongoing challenge as the geopolitical landscape evolves rapidly.
These are the core elements defining Japan's approach to governance and its political implications in this dynamic global environment.
While Philippines' governance and political landscape, understanding our nation's journey within the broader global context.
Like many nations striving for progress, strengthening our democratic institutions is paramount. This means reinforcing democratic foundations, upholding the rules of law, and ensuring accountability and transparency, principles vital for any stable society. In an interconnected world, our global diplomacy, much like that of other sovereign states, involves navigating complex geopolitical landscape, fostering and involving alliances and partnership, and carefully balancing regional and global interests. We also confront persistent hurdles, challenges common to many developing nations, combating pervasive corruptions, implementing a crucial governance reforms, and adapting to global economic shift.
Addressing these areas is how Philippines secure its place and prosperity alongside the community of nations.
Japan, a land where ancient traditions and cutting-edge modernity lived side by side. But how does a culture so deeply rooted in its past continue to evolve and influence the world? It all starts with pop culture's global resonance. From the vibrant colors of anime and manga to the distinct styles of Japanese fashion, these creations have become a worldwide phenomenon. They're more than just entertainment, they're a form of soft power, a tool for diplomacy that builds bridges and engages youth across the globe. Yet, this global influence doesn't mean tradition is left behind. Japan shows us how modernization meets tradition. Technology reshapes daily life, but it doesn't replace the deep-seated cultural norms. Instead, Western concepts and new ideas are synthesized, leading to new lifestyle and evolving cultural expressions that are uniquely Japanese. So, as Japan navigates a global era, it faces a challenge we all do, and that is how to balance global integration with local distinctiveness. There's a risk of cultural harmonization, but also an urgency to perceive a unique identity. As National Geographic Education puts it, globalization has led to increases in standards of living around the world, but not all of its effects are positive for everyone. Japan's journey is a powerful example of cultural resilience. It's a reminder that a culture can transfer and influence the world without losing the very essence of what makes it unique.
While, on the other hand, we see the Philippine cultures, so Western and American impact. Because of colonization, English became a primary language, Western media dominates our culture, and our educational system has been adapted by their models.
While in the diaspora's enduring influence in the Philippines, millions of Filipinos work abroad and their economic remittances fuel the country's growth. At the same time, cultural exchange enriches our traditions and brings in global perspective.
Lastly, in the Philippine culture, we are navigating cultural cross-currents. Filipinos strive to balance heritage with global trends. But we are facing challenges in building a unified identity, especially with generational gaps in cultural values.
Japan's peace and security approach has three main parts. It's focused on peaceful policies, working with other countries, and facing new dangers.
Post-war pacifism and peacekeeping. Japan Constitution says it cannot start war or use its military to attack other countries. Example, Japan's Self-Defense Forces or the SDF only defend Japan, they don't attack other countries. And regional alliances and stability. Japan cooperates with other countries like the US, Australia, India, and the Philippines to keep the Asian region stable and peaceful. Example, the US-Japan Security Treaty means the US will help defend Japan if needed. The emerging challenges. Japan faces new problems such as threats from North Korea and China, cyber attacks, and risks to its supply chain. Japan's companies and governments sometimes face cyber attacks from other countries. Example, Japan makes sure it can still get important supplies if trade routes are blocked.
Japan tries to balance keeping peace and working with others while also preparing for new challenges.
On the other hand, I will be discussing to you the peace and security implication here in the Philippines. So the first one is under the complex of terrorism.
The country continues to face threats like the Mindanao insurgency, Abu Sayyaf group, and ISIS influence. These cause instability, fuel violence,
and challenge our national unity and development. The second one is we have the South China Sea disputes. This involve territorial claims, maritime rights, and UNCLOS arbitration. The issue is complex because it affects our sovereignty, national resources, and our relations with other countries. Lastly, the societal and environmental issues. These include human rights concern, drug trafficking, and disaster preparedness. The Philippines is very vulnerable to natural disaster and climate change, so strong disaster management systems are necessary. In conclusion, to address these challenges, the Philippines needs strategic imperatives.
An integrated approach for domestic stability, stronger diplomacy, and resilience against different threats.